Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. How pathetic can some people be?
It's weird having kids. I'm a young guy, and I had kids kind of young, and it's weird having kids and being bald and white. Because bald and white is always creepy, no matter what. It just is. If I see a bald white guy at the park, I leave. I expect you to do the same when you see me. And I don't blame you, so let it out right now. You know it's true. What's worse is I have big, creepy gums. So when I smile, it's just picture me at 10 o'clock in the morning, a pair of sweatpants, a t-shirt, and a cup of coffee. And I'm always smiling because I'm there with my perfect daughter. I'm like, Daddy's over here, sweetheart. No, go ahead, play. Go, Daddy will be over here. You can watch every mom and nanny in the park quickly go, let's go, let's go. Saw the guy on Dateline, let's go.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Everybody's got a full head of hair, right? Out of us. I know Cameron does.
Yeah. We got.
Do you have a situation, because you're still pretty young, like my friend Kyle has really long hair, but he started balding about your age, and now he's got long hair with bald on top. It's very strange looks, very strange look, but he pulls it off.
You ever just want to tell him, come on, dude, just shave it off. Just shave it all off. You got a good bald head there.
But he works in a very competitive real estate market, so I think people recognize him. You know, it's kind of given him his he is that attributes to his rock star status as a real estate agent.
Every time I see the guy, he's got a hat on. Right. And I'm sure he can't wear a baseball cap selling houses.
Right, but I've seen what he looks like, and he slicks it back. Whatever he's got left, he slicks it back, and then
he's got his unique look.
Slicked down too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't buy a house from him on appearance. No way in hell.
Larry David of real estate.
It's worth. Well, but he grew it long to like try to be hip or something, and he'll sometimes put it like the back of it in a ponytail just to prove that
he's still got some hair.
That he's still got lots of hair on his head. It's just not growing on the top.
You know, I mean, I always feel bad for people that can't accept who they are. And it seems to show itself more with people with male pattern baldness than, being overweight or short or whatever.
You don't know what to do with it, man.
Yeah. I don't think bald is that bad. But this guy, Jeffrey Trent, he 46 years old. He's right in our wheelhouse. He's 6'3", 250 pounds. He's a big man. And he went into a salon and asked them if they had a product to bring his hair back, and the ladies said no. Once he realized that the miracle cure for male pattern baldness was not in the cards for him, he kind of went belligerent and ape-ass in the salon, started throwing stuff around. I'm thinking this guy must need to be medicated or something, because, you're 46. I can't imagine that you've just ended up bald yesterday. You've probably been coming on for quite some time. But he started thrashing the place. They called the cops. He got arrested and was taken to jail. But here you are. He's in a salon full of women. He's 6'3", 250 pounds, and he's bald, like the guy said. Watch out.
He's a human torpedo.
Dude, if that guy heard you say that, Cameron, how much do you weigh, Cameron?
How much do I weigh? I weigh 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Yeah. I'm sure if this guy heard you talking about it like that, you would be the human torpedo.
Wait a second. You're 5'8". I'm 5'8". I used to weigh 145 pounds, and I look like I needed to eat. I was. You must be really thin.
Well, you'll find out this Friday.
Yeah. Boy, this is sad because Cameron's 5'8". I'm 5'8". He's going to stand next to me at 130 pounds. Probably wet.
Yeah, you guys.
And I'm going to stand next to him at 230 pounds. You got 100 pounds on you.
Yeah, and that's nice because you guys will look like the number 10 when you're standing beside each other for the picture.
I'm guessing I'm the 0.
Aren't you always?
Oh, thank you very, very much.
Non voy, Kevin.
Yeah, no, that's my 0. Sorry, I'm wrong button. He's right next to the rim shot.
Always the wrong button. Take him away from next to the rim shot then.
Congratulations.
Kevin.
Big Boy Baldy, you are Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Don't be a dummy when it comes to your landscape supplies. Go to Peterson Ukart on Gusta Road, just north of Quickie Car Wash in Atascadero.
We load, you cart, you save.
This is what I love to do to celebrities. But this kid did it on, like this was totally, he wouldn't know because he's 5, right? It was funny, though, still. I wish it was an adult that would have done this, though. Like, I wish the 5-year-old would have tipped off the dad, and the dad was me, and I would have went up to him and did this. Harry and Meghan were at the Big Wave Dave's Christmas tree and pumpkin patch. It's set up in tents outside of Macy's down in Santa Barbara, and they live in Montecito. So this is their first Christmas in California, so they're buying their decorations and stuff, and socially distanced, of course, right? Because you got to be socially distanced. And this little boy comes up to him and starts asking him about the Christmas tree, and because he wanted to buy a Christmas tree, but he thought that he was the salesman at the Big Wave Dave's
because he was standing there with a tree, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he ran through the trees up to Harry and asked if he worked there, not knowing who he was. It's like, hey, this is probably the first time the kid has ever had a proactive role in picking out a Christmas tree. He's like, hey, do you work here?
So your son is right in the wheelhouse here.
I know.
You can be doing this. If you run into any local celebrities.
That's the thing is, who do you run into around here? I mean, we don't have it as good as the people in Santa Barbara.
What do you got, Cam?
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Yeah, nobody knows what we look like because we're on the radio.
Celebrities in the county.
Yeah, we're not celebrities, but we are on the radio, so nobody knows what we look like. But Heidi Harmon?
God, how nice would that be?
Great. Walk up to her and say, hey,
She does think that she, it's like, she does think she's a big deal.
Yeah.
As a mayor of a town of 40,000.
Right.
Still, very big deal. Like, right up there with...
Well, she just won another election, so it's fresh right now.
Yeah, right up there with, Bernie Sanders.
You might see her maybe down at the Mission Plaza. Send your young child up to her and say, hey, will you do the Christmas lights at my house?
I have seen her a few times down in that area, but she's always on the patio of Luna Red drinking a drink. So
that's where I would be, though.
I wouldn't
Can't knock that.
I wouldn't. No, it's great. It's amazing. I mean, good for her.
I would be the kind of dad that, I'd be like my wife and the kids, and we'd be at Luna Red, even dinner, and be like, all right, we're going to go check it out. Like, go ahead, I'm just going to have another cocktail. Hey, one more. I'll be right here.
You ever run into a celebrity, Cameron?
No.
Most famous person you've ever ran into?
Who's the most famous person I've ever ran into?
Guessing nobody.
Yeah, I guess
you got to leave your bedroom, Jeff, to meet people.
I haven't met you guys, so
yeah. Well,
I
we mean
no
like
one.
a real celebrity. Jeff's ran into some sports players, right?
Yeah.
Football players.
Yep. Brian Blades.
Yep.
Brian Blades asked me. No, he was hunkering over my table at FX McCrory's after a football game once. Brian Blades played for the Seahawks, and they won. And so he went there to catch some of that post game, the fame, like, hey, look at the wide receivers here for the team. So he was like standing, but the place was already packed because they had to finish the game, and we all went from the stadium to.
He didn't have an entourage with
the
him.
Bar. No, he didn't. And we went from the stadium to the bar. And he had to go.
Maybe I'll get recognized.
Post-game conference, and all that stuff. And by the time, he got over to FX McCrory's, which I thought was pretty quick. I thought it was probably, it was an hour or so, and everybody's celebrating. We got a table. We got a good table. It was a good spot. And he's like standing there, like looking at us, like, aren't you guys going to get up? Because I'm Brian Blades, the wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm like, no. I'm shooting him a look back, like, no.
You probably thought maybe you might ask for him to sit with you so he could sit down.
Yes. And that wasn't going to happen because I don't know him, I mean, good job catching balls, bro, but I do not know who you are. I'm not going to invite you to sit with us. I said, hey man, how's it going? He's like, oh, good. How's it going with you? Like, I'm gonna ask.
He's like, there it is. I'm gonna get asked to sit down.
I'm gonna get asked to sit down. I'm gonna ask to get an autograph or something like that. I was like, hey man, do you know what time it is? Because it's back before everybody had a phone. And he's like, what? Do you know what time it is? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. It's 5:54. And then I was like, okay, thanks.
I think there's nothing better about going to a bar thinking you're going to get recognized and then never being recognized.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's got to be the worst thing to happen to a celebrity, right? Or somebody looking to get that, that.
Jeff has told that story so many times, and every time he cracks him up.
I love it. I saw Loose Check from Orange is the New Black on the street in Seattle while Orange is the New Black was playing. I was on vacation. He was on vacation as well. And I walked by him and I make eye contact with him. And I'm like, is that Loose Check? Because he's a very, normal looking guy anyways. And he's walking with his wife. And then later on, like when we got back in the car, my wife's like checking her Instagram and to see if he's anywhere in Seattle. Sure enough, he was in Seattle at the same time. It was him. Loose Check from Orange is the New Black. That's another famous person I ran into.
Yes, whoever it was. You should have rolled down the window. Hey, you! Hey, you know what time it is? Actually, it might be funnier to do it now that everybody does have a phone.
When I saw him and I passed him, it was like a crowded street, so it would have been weird for me to single out him and ask him what time it was.
I suppose we should just take a road trip to L.A. just to try to call celebrities out. Just to be jerks.
Hey, man, you know what time it is?
All right, Jeff and Jeremy here getting ready for the takeover this Friday. Cameron is going to be in studio. Had to get his COVID test done. He's clean. And
wait, you were clean like a week ago, though, right?
I think I was clean officially Friday.
Yeah, he's clean.
Okay, so is that close enough? Because what are you going to just totally isolate yourself for the next week? What the hell, man?
Yeah, it's easy. I work here to,
You're fine. Listen, we're not doing anything different. You're fine. You're going to be just fine. Come on in. And
for all I know, you could be hanging out in the office of the president-elect.
I found out today that you're going to be manning the phones. So Cameron will be in a studio next to us, manning phones. He'll be answering your calls and taking your donations. So how it works is we'll play any song you want to hear for a donation. You can hear as many songs as you want. You can do as big as a donation as you want. We're representing the Slow Firefighters Benevolent Association, helping firefighters, their families, and other families of fire devastation. And it all stays right here. Because if we gave it all to CAL FIRE, if that's where the money went, which is what we were thinking originally, that money gets dispersed all over
state.
California, which is still good.
Which would have been good because
but sometimes it gets tied up in like legalities and Sacramento.
Out. It's too thinned out.
This is going to stay right here, and we're going to find out all about this association I've never heard of until we looked into it, and so we'll pass that along.
Cameron, you watch Parks and Rec?
I used to.
The best episode of Parks and Rec, and I think it's the most underrated because you never hear people talk about it, but it's Flu Season 2. It's the second flu season, and this is after Chris and Ann move away to Michigan. That's why I think a lot of people stopped watching the show when that happened.
Oh yeah.
And so not a lot of people know about Flu Season 2, but it's when they go to book the acts for the Unity Festival, the Pawnee Eagleton Unity Festival, and they have the country guy drops off, the country sensation, the one that throws cheese and crackers in his dad's face.
Oh yeah, who says "God bless the soldiers" or whatever. God bless the soldiers. I can't remember what he says.
What is it? He's working on a song, and he's like, "You bring the beer, I'll bring the girls, And the troops bring the freedom.
Yeah. Making fun of country music.
But in the beginning of that episode, I just picture Cameron in the phone bank. Jerry has the flu in the beginning of that episode, and they built a hazmat tent for him in the corner of the office, and they're spraying him with hand sanitizer across the way. And I'm thinking, that episode was funny then because that was ridiculous embellishment on what things are like. Now that would be like, okay,
the normal.
That's what we got to do with him. He's over there in the
So we're gonna have you in a bubble, and we're gonna be throwing hand sanitizer at you.
Dude, give that to me. That's my dream.
But you'll be good. You'll be good to go. You will be good to go. So it's this Friday, and it's anything you want to hear. We start right at 6:00, and we can't wait to do it every year. It's a lot of fun. Any kind of crazy song goes. If you're in a local band, you want to have your band played. Maybe you just maybe you know a local band and you want to play their music. You can do that as well. And it's just picking up the phone and dialing the numbers you call. Text us on every single day at 805-543-3693. If you want to read everything on how this whole day works, you can go to KZOZ.com.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.